Credit cards don't make money when you swipe. They make money when you don't fully understand what happens after. Because the swipe feels simple, fast, clean, almost invisible. But the system behind it is not simple at all. In the next 8 minutes, you will see exactly how credit cards really make money and why most people never notice it. Not because they are careless, but because the system is designed to feel friendly. Credit cards are not designed to help you spend. They are designed to help banks earn. Every feature, every reward, every limit, and every payment option exists for one simple purpose: to keep you using the card not once, but again and again and again. Because the real profit is not in the purchase, it is in the pattern. Let's start with interest. Interest is the heart of the system. When you don't pay your full balance, the bank charges you interest every month, and that interest compounds, which means you pay interest on previous interest. Most people imagine this grows slowly, but it doesn't. It grows quietly, and quietly is dangerous because you don't feel it happening. You only feel it when it is already large. A small balance, a normal interest rate, a few months, and suddenly you are paying for the past, not the present. You are financing yesterday. Then there are minimum payments. Minimum payments are not a solution. They are a delay. They allow you to stay comfortable, but comfort is expensive because the less you pay, the longer the balance stays, and the longer it stays, the more interest it creates. Minimum payments do not protect you. They protect the system. They keep the machine running. Then come the fees. Late fees, annual fees, foreign transaction fees, cash advance fees, balance transfer fees, processing fees. Each one feels small, almost harmless, but together they form a second profit engine, a silent one. You rarely notice it, but it never misses you. Then there are rewards, points, miles, cashback. They feel generous, they feel fair, they feel motivating. But rewards are not gifts, they are redistribution. People who carry balances pay for the rewards of people who don't. Someone always funds the system, and that someone is usually invisible. And finally, psychology. Credit cards separate spending from pain. When you use cash, you feel money leaving. When you use a card, you only feel convenience. And when pain is delayed, spending increases. Not because people are weak, but because the brain works that way. This is not accidental, this is behavioral design. Here is the truth. Credit cards are not evil. They are tools. Used with awareness, they can help. Used emotionally, they quietly drain. The card does not change who you are. It amplifies what you already do. And that is why two people can use the same card and get completely different results. The system does not choose. Behavior does. And that is the part most people never learn. At this point, many people feel uncomfortable. Not because the system is complicated, but because it feels familiar. You start recognizing patterns, moments, decisions you didn't think about before, a swipe that felt harmless, a balance that felt temporary, a payment that felt responsible. And slowly, you realize that nothing here was random. Not the design, not the options, not the outcomes. The system did not trick you, it simply waited. Because time does the work. Credit cards do not force decisions, they allow them. And allowed decisions become habits. Habits become patterns, and patterns become financial reality. This is why some people feel supported by credit cards, and others feel controlled. The difference is not intelligence, it is awareness. Understanding does not change the system, it changes your position inside it, and position changes power. Once you see the structure, you stop seeing only results. You stop seeing only balances. You start seeing causes, and causes are where control begins. So before we move to conclusions, before we summarize, before we reduce everything into simple ideas, remember this: nothing in this system works against you personally, but everything in it works for the system automatically. And once you understand that, you are no longer inside the game blindly. You are observing it. And observation is the beginning of choice. Let's slow everything down, because understanding only works when it settles, not when it rushes. What you just heard was not about credit cards, it was about behavior, about patterns, about how small decisions become long-term outcomes. Credit cards simply reveal what already exists. They do not create habits, they amplify them. That is why two people can use the same system and experience completely different results. So let's lock the system in. Not emotionally, not dramatically, but clearly. Here are the 5 truths every credit card user must understand. Number 1. Credit cards do not make money from spending. They make money from balance, not from buying, but from carrying. Number 2. Interest is not a punishment, it is a timer. The longer the balance stays, the more expensive it becomes. Number 3. Minimum payments do not reduce debt. They manage it, they keep it alive. Number 4. Rewards are not free, they are redistributed. Someone always funds them. And number 5. Credit cards do not change your life, they amplify your habits. At this point, the system no longer feels mysterious. It feels familiar. Not because you memorized numbers, but because you recognized patterns, you recognized behavior, you recognized yourself, and that is the moment everything changes. Because money does not control people. Confusion does. When something feels confusing, it feels powerful. When something feels clear, it feels manageable. Credit cards do not become harmless when you ignore them. They become harmless when you understand them. Understanding removes fear. Understanding removes emotion. Understanding removes surprise. And what remains is choice. You begin to see that most financial outcomes are not accidents. They are directions, taken slowly, repeated quietly, until they look permanent. But nothing here is permanent. Patterns can change, habits can shift, and awareness is always the first step. This is not about avoiding credit. It is not about rejecting the system. It is about seeing it clearly, so you can decide how you move inside it. Because once you see the structure, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what am I repeating? And that question is power. This channel is not here to give you shortcuts. It is here to give you clarity so that when strategies come, they finally make sense. This is Money in 8 Minutes. And this was how credit cards really make money.